of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. A professional advisor should be consulted before implementing any of the options presented. Encompass More Asset Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. And there they are, Clinton and Galen. It's time once again for another Monday morning visit. GCES. Here on Indiana in the Morning, Clinton Smith, Galen Bargerstock with us this morning from GCES. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're enjoying this fabulous day out there. That's
it's a
pretty
beautiful
nice,
day out.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be, but it is, and we'll take it. All right, so let's get into some serious talk here. A lot of folks will look at TV commercials, or they'll buy some magazine, or most likely these days they're going online and they're trying to figure out their retirement benefits all by themselves. I don't need any help. I don't need any expertise. I can do it all by myself. And as you said, Clinton, a couple of minutes ago, for them it's a lot like trying to put together a puzzle when you don't have all the pieces.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people sometimes will read one article and plan their entire retirement off of that. Some people might listen to a radio show like this and plan their retirement around it. And even the same thing right now, you're listening to us talk. We're talking about retirement, but really you can't do it all just from this conversation or listening to us talk on this radio show. You have to make an appointment with us and sit down, because a lot of people, they'll sit down, they'll try to figure out their retirement. And if you're thinking of it like you're doing a puzzle, they're doing the puzzle, but they're missing half the pieces or a quarter of the pieces that they just don't know about because it's something that they don't do every day.
Yeah. And Galen, a lot of that, the reason that we format the show the way that we do is to purposely remain not specific to individuals, because everybody has a different set of circumstances in their life, their finances, and where they happen to be in their retirement goal.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that people, everybody is completely different in every choice that they make in life, not just, financial, and that's why it really has to be a conversation one-on-one to figure out the pieces of the puzzle, because you could have worked, 4 different places with pensions, and, maybe that one pension's $100 a month for the rest of your life, but you don't know what age it starts and if it goes up in value, or if you're going to get more money if you let it ride for a little longer. So, it really is personalized at this point.
Do you find, I'll ask this of either of you, do you find that there are a lot of people, or more people, who get into trouble in terms of their retirement savings by trying to do it themselves, or by simply neglecting the whole thing?
Man, one thing that comes to mind is we fill out retirement books for federal employees, and you would not believe how many times we put the stickers in the exact places of sign here, check here, do this here. And then we look at it and we're like, did you not see any of those stickers because you just started filling this out on your own? And that's really timely, because they have to have it in with a certain period of time if they want to retire on time, and they're trying to get us their book to fill it out, and we'll go over it with them, and then they'll just start filling out stuff on their own, and then it gets kicked back, and then that ends up actually making their retirement take longer, where they're trying to retire, they're not working anymore, but they're not actually retiring because the retirement book wasn't filled out correctly. And that's something we do for people. It's something that we just do a free service to help federal employees out, but it's super important, and it can really stop the process really quick.
So that's a really interesting circumstance, Galen, because what he's saying is that somebody has to work 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5 years longer because they tried to do things themselves that an expert could have helped them with and gotten them set up in a much better circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that pops right into my head is health insurance and retirement. So some employers, you can carry your health insurance into retirement, but you have to have that health insurance for 5 years before you retire. So if you're not on that plan, or you're on your spouse's plan and you need to switch and have your own into retirement, you have to be vested for 5 years before retirement to have it. So I've seen a lot of people work longer just because of the health insurance.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And the paperwork, it is a nightmare. And it's not only confusing topics, but then you have like a 2-inch manual thrown at you, and you're like, fill this out and figure it out. And there's YouTube videos, and there's videos about how to do it and stuff. But it's always nice to talk to somebody that understands the paperwork, does the paperwork for you, because if we can take that burden off of you, it's maybe easier to focus on some of the other stuff at hand.
You would love to have people who were right on top of the game right from the very start and worked with you and helped set this all up, and you work together as a team and get down the road toward retirement and everything falls into place. But if those puzzle pieces haven't been put together correctly or some puzzle pieces are missing, how fixable is that? Or are there cases where it's not something that is fixable?
In the beginning, I think we dealt with this a lot more. We've been dealing with the same couple thousand of people now for 10 plus years, where in the beginning, a lot of what we were doing, we would call it basically corrective insurance, where we were doing stuff to fix the issues that people have already had. We still run into that a lot, but now, because we've been doing this for so long, we're a lot more proactive with people. We've been able to get in front of people a lot sooner, where we're changing stuff before it becomes an issue. So rather than putting something in place at the very end to correct an issue of something that they did wrong, now we're getting in the game a lot earlier with a lot of people. We're not catching people we still catch people right at retirement, those people that wanted to wait until the very end, where we have to do corrective insurance and do stuff to correct the wrong things that they've done. Now, being more proactive, we're able to set people up, and those issues aren't happening for them.
For a lot of years, though, you worked strictly with government employees.
Yeah.
Now you've expanded so that it's not just government employees, it's people from any walk of life.
Anywhere.
You run into those issues again now a little bit more because you've gone off of all government employees to something that is more of a blend?
Kind of. No, I mean, it was an easy, smooth transition for me because I was working with the family in general. So, likelihood of both spouses being federal employees, I've known all the pensions all along, the state pension, how everything works and intertwined. It was just that we never, talked about maybe talking to somebody else, but the spouses were always separate, usually not federal employees. Yeah.
All right. So take me into the situation of somebody that is in the boat that we've been talking about, somebody who's been trying to do it themselves or just has neglected the whole idea of it right from the very start. And they're put them in between 40 and 50 years of age, and they want to get started and be serious now, finally, about retirement. How do you guys take them on and then guide them through the process?
So whenever Galen sits down with someone, he usually starts by going over everything that they get whenever they retire. Let's use federal employees as an example. He'll start by going over the pension. They get that from their employer. He'll figure out when they're going to be eligible to retire, how much money they would make monthly just from that one source of income. After that, he's going to move on to Social Security. Everyone gets it. It's kind of the same for everyone. He can help you figure out how much money you'll be able to make when you want to claim, whether it's 63 or 67, whatever age it is. He'll figure out how much money you're going to make from that monthly. He's going to add that to what you're going to make from your pension. So already we know your pension, we know Social Security, and then after that, he's going to go over federal employees have a thrift savings plan or a TSP. Everyone else, it would be your 401k or any investments that you have on the outside. He'll take that money and figure out how much you're making on a return annually, how many years it takes in between now and the time you're going to retire, so you can figure out approximately how much money you'll have in that retirement fund, investment fund, TSP, to figure out how much money you'll have at retirement and how much that'll pay you monthly. So then we just add that together. We add how much you'd make from your investments, how much you'll make from Social Security, and how much you'll make from the pension. Put it all together and compare it to what you're making monthly now to give you an idea of whether you have a loss of income at retirement or if you're going to be making more money than you are now when you're working.
Now, somebody just heard that and said, oh, boy, that sounds very, very complicated. I don't want to get involved with it. But that's the point, isn't it, Galen? You don't have to get involved with it. You do that for them.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, everything that Clinton just said, that is what I do. But the reality, when you're sitting on the other side of the chair or the other side of the table, you just have to understand what your risk tolerance is, how much you can afford to put into something. And I can kind of show and guide you what it could possibly be based on if you want to play more conservative or if you want to be risky, what products. I mean, younger you are, we're probably going to address life insurance if you're in your 40s, if you haven't done that yet. So there's all kinds of different things based on different ages. But 40 is a scenario where people are starting to really, oh, wow, retirement is going to happen. Maybe I should, start thinking about doing something. And that's even us personally. So
a lot of times we'll break those numbers down and then say, oh, and here's what we can do that's better.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So right now, this is what you would make off your investments, but we have this annuity product or this product that you could actually put your money into that'll do this for you instead of this. And that's where we get the fine tuning. Once we figure out the general, what you're going to make in retirement, that's when he goes over side things like long-term care, life insurance, all of those other things that you can add in to make your retirement better.
Galen, I know that you have made the point in the past that so many people work much longer than they actually have to because they haven't started the process in time. Or no, maybe that's not the best way to put it. They just didn't get around to starting the process as soon as they should have.
Yeah, I've met tons of people that could have retired 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they're just going because they think that there's this standard out there of what you need to have in retirement. Like, I think $2 million is what people say.
Yeah.
There's no real standard. It really depends on what you want to accomplish into retirement. And if you're looking to accomplish just making what you're making now for the rest of your life, that's doable with pensions and Social Security and investments. So, my theory is, yeah, you can work longer if you want to, but if you don't have to, why?
That $2 million number is something that they got off of an article they read too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they think that's what they need. And honestly, the people that have $2 million is like not a lot.
Yeah.
Like less than 1%. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess when we go back to how we started this conversation, some people who have tried to put together that puzzle all by themselves and they find there are missing pieces, it's because the dog ate the pieces, and there's just no way to get those back. So maybe a different angle, you come up with a different picture and make the puzzle complete.
Like I said, they have those puzzle pieces where they might know what they're making in retirement, but then we have the other add-ins that are going to make the rest of the picture complete.
Yeah.
And they don't know them because they're not financial advisors. They don't work in the industry like we do.
So it's GCES, Clinton and Galen with us here this morning once again. If somebody wants to get involved with GCES and finally start having somebody else that has an idea of how to put together this puzzle, work on it.
You can check us out online. Our website is gces.us. You can also just come to our office at 1780 Philadelphia Street. You'll see Galen's lovely face right across the street on a billboard, so it's really hard to miss us. Or you can just give us a call, 724-915-0000.
What do you think of that billboard, by the way, Galen?
It was a lot to take in the first time I saw it. Yeah.
The sunglasses are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shades look good.
Thank you.
Look good. Gentlemen, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. 24 minutes after 8 o'clock on your Monday morning, Monday, June the 10th. Yes, we have more sunshine than they had predicted, and we'll take every bit of it that we can. AccuWeather says that it will be a mostly cloudy day and a high of 63 degrees. And then more clouds tonight down to 50. Partly sunny, 66 tomorrow. Each day of the week it gets progressively warmer. 63 today, 66 tomorrow, 77 Wednesday, 85 degrees Thursday. Maybe back it off a little bit on Friday to 83. But a lot of sunshine in the area.